You know, just
Hello, how are you? And
seems.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hafiz Hassan Businesswala. Today I want to talk about water. Thank you is a very important word in our daily life. We use it to show respect and love. And my first question is, why is water considered essential for all form of life?
Gotcha. Hi, Hafiz. I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking. Man, wa alaikum assalam to you too. Water, huh? Big topic. Essential for all life. That's a big one. Um, Basically, everything is made of it, right? Like cells, bodies, the planet. It's all water based. It's kind of how everything functions. Carries nutrients, regulates temperature, gets rid of waste. Without it, nothing. It's pretty fundamental. Does that make sense?
Okay, good answer. My next question is, how does water security affect global stability?
Ooh, okay. Shifting gears a bit. Good question. Water security and global stability. That's actually really intertwined. When people don't have reliable access to clean water, things get shaky. It can lead to conflict over resources, mass migrations, food shortages. It's a recipe for instability. It's not just about having enough water, it's about having equal access to it too. If some groups are cut off or if one country controls the water supply for others, things can escalate quickly. It's a surprisingly big deal for international relations.
Okay, good answer. My next question is, do you think access to clean water is a basic human right? Why?
Absolutely. Clean water should be a basic human right. No question. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity for survival, right? Like, you can't have health, dignity, or even just the basic quality of life without it. Denying someone access to clean water is basically denying them the right to life itself. Plus, it's tied to so many other rights: the right to health, to adequate sanitation, to food security. It's just fundamentally a thing everyone deserves. It feels pretty simple when you put it that way.
Okay, good answer. My next question is, how does water influence economic development?
Okay, so water and the economy, they're super connected. Think about agriculture needs water. Industry needs water. Energy production often needs water. A reliable water supply is key for businesses to thrive, for farms to grow food, for power plants to generate electricity. When water is scarce or unreliable, it holds back economic growth. It can lead to lower crop yields, industrial shutdowns, and increased costs for businesses. Conversely, investing in water infrastructure, things like irrigation, sanitation, and dams, can actually boost economies and create jobs. It's kind of a foundation for everything, really.
Okay, very good answer. Okay, really good answer. Okay, my next question is, how can individuals reduce water wastage in daily life?
All right, good on you for thinking about that. Lots of little things add up, you know? Shortening your showers is a big one. Fixing leaky faucets, seriously, those can waste a ton. Being mindful of how much water you use when washing dishes or clothes, full loads only, and like when you're brushing your teeth, turning the tap off while you brush. It's those small habits that can make a difference. Also, if you have a lawn, watering it less often but more deeply encourages stronger roots, which means it needs less water overall. It's, it's not rocket science, just being a little more aware.
Okay, good answer. My next question is, how role does water
Shoot.
play in climate change?
Okay, that's a complicated one, but a super important one. Uh, water and climate change have this really messy feedback loop going on. Climate change is causing more extreme weather events, droughts, floods, which impacts water availability, but also water itself contributes to climate change. For example, melting glaciers and ice sheets raise sea levels. Water vapor is a greenhouse gas too, so more evaporation means more warming, and changes in water temperature can affect ocean currents, which influence weather patterns. It's like water is both a victim and a driver of climate change. Kind of messed up, honestly. Does that make sense, or am I rambling?
Okay, good answer. A good answer. My next question is, how does polluted water impact public health?
Protein water. That's a newer thing, right? Okay,
Right.
so the impact on public health is still being studied, honestly. It's not necessarily harmful, but it's also not like a miracle cure or anything. The idea is to help people meet their protein needs, especially folks who work out a lot. But you can get protein from, you know, actual food. And too much protein isn't always a good thing. It can strain your kidneys. For most people, it's probably just a more expensive way to stay hydrated. And the added benefits aren't huge. One of those things where more research is needed to really understand the long term effects.
Okay, good answer. My next question is, how does why is water management a major challenge in modern cities?
Okay. Water management being a challenge. Yeah, that's putting it mildly. It's a huge issue. A lot of it comes down to a few things. First, population growth. More people need more water. Second, climate change, making water resources more unpredictable. Third, pollution contaminating the water we do have. Fourth, aging infrastructure. A lot of our pipes and systems are old and leaky. Um, and finally, just competing demands. Agriculture, industry, cities. Everyone wants a piece of the pie. It's not just about having enough water overall, it's about distributing it fairly and sustainably, which is a really complex problem. There's no easy solution.
Okay, good answer. Okay, my next question is, do you think privations of water in ethical?
Whoa, hold on a sec. Privations of water in Nitago? I'm not familiar with that place. Could you spell that out for me? Or maybe tell me where it is? I want to make sure I understand the question correctly before I try to answer. My geography isn't the strongest, apparently.
Okay, good answer. My next question is, how does water quality affect agriculture?
All right, water quality in agriculture. That's a big one. Bad water quality can seriously mess with crop production. Salty water, for instance, can build up in the soil and make it hard for plants to grow. Contaminated water with stuff like pesticides or heavy metals can get absorbed by the plants and end up in our food. It can also harm the soil itself, reducing its fertility. Basically, good quality water is essential for healthy crops and a thriving agricultural sector. It's not just about having enough water, it's about having clean water. Makes sense, right?
Okay, my next question is, what responsibility do industries have in protecting water resources?
Huge responsibility, honestly. Industries are often major water users and sometimes major polluters. They have a real obligation to minimize their water footprint and prevent contamination. And that means investing in water efficient technologies, treating wastewater before releasing it back into the environment, and being mindful of the chemicals and pollutants they're using. It's not just about following regulations, it's about being good corporate citizens and protecting a vital resource. It's a bit of a tricky balance. They need water to operate, but they also have to be part of the solution.
Okay, my next question is, how does water scarcity lead to social conflict?
Okay, you're asking about how water scarcity can lead to social conflict. Right? That's unfortunately a really common story. When water becomes scarce, it can exacerbate existing tensions between communities, regions, or even countries. People start competing for limited resources, and that can lead to disputes, protests, even violence. It often affects vulnerable populations the most, those who are already marginalized or lacking political power. It's not just about the water itself, it's about the inequalities that get amplified when resources are under stress. It's a really serious issue, and it's becoming more prevalent as climate change worsens.
Okay, good answer. My next question is,
Go for it.
how does no no sorry how can government ensure sustainability water use?
All right, that's a good one. Governments have a lot of tools at their disposal. They can invest in water infrastructure, building dams, reservoirs, and efficient irrigation systems. They can implement water pricing policies that encourage conservation. They can regulate water usage by industries and agriculture. They can promote water efficient technologies and practices. They can enforce water quality standards, protect watersheds, and importantly, they can foster cooperation between different stakeholders, communities, businesses, and other government agencies. It's not a single solution. It requires multifaceted approach and strong political will. It's about long-term planning, not just short-term fixes.
Okay, my next question is, why is water conservation more important today than in the past?
Hmm. You mean why is water more important today than in the past? Okay, yeah, that's a good question. It's a couple of things. First, the population is way bigger than it used to be, so there's more demand. Second, climate change is making water resources less predictable and more stress. Droughts are becoming more frequent and severe in some areas, while floods are becoming more common in others. And third, increased industrialization and agriculture are putting a greater strain on water supplies. So while water was always essential for survival, the pressures on it are much higher now than they've ever been before. It's a more urgent problem.
Okay, my next question is, how does water connect ecosystem together?
That's a beautiful question, honestly. Um, Water is like the lifeblood of ecosystems, connecting everything together. Rivers and streams create habitats for fish and other aquatic life, but they also provide water for plants and animals that live on land. Wetlands act as nurseries for many species and help filter pollutants. Groundwater connects surface water to underground aquifers, creating a complex network. Migratory birds rely on wetlands along their routes. Animals travel to water sources to drink. Even the air is connected to water through evaporation and the water cycle. It's all interconnected. If you disrupt one part of the system, it can have ripple effects throughout the whole ecosystem. It's a really delicate balance.
Okay, my next question is, what impact does climate change have on rainfall pattern?
Okay, climate change and rainfall pattern. Oh, that's a big one. Basically, it's making things more extreme and less predictable. In some places, we're seeing more intense rainfall events, leading to flooding. It's in other places we're seeing longer and more severe droughts. Overall, the water cycle is speeding up, which means more evaporation and more intense precipitation. It's also shifting rainfall patterns, so areas that used to get reliable rain are now experiencing more variability. This makes it harder to plan for agriculture, manage water resources, and prevent disasters. It's a really complex issue, but the bottom line is that climate change is disrupting rainfall patterns in significant ways.
Okay, very really
All right,
good answer.
you ready for?
My next question is, how does water pollution affect marine life?
Okay, so water pollution and marine life, that's a really tough one. It has a huge impact. Pollution, whether it's plastic, chemicals, oil, or agricultural runoff, can poison marine animals, disrupt their habitats, and even kill them. Plastic, in particular, is a massive problem. Animals can get entangled in it or ingest it, which can lead to starvation or internal injuries. Chemical pollutants can accumulate in the food chain, affecting everything from tiny plankton to large predators. And pollution can also create dead zones where oxygen levels are too low to support life. It's a really serious threat to the health of our oceans and the creatures that live in them.
Okay, my next question is, how can education change people attitude toward water usage?
It's a really good point. Education is key. When people understand where their water comes from, how it's used, and the impact of their choices, they're more likely to adopt water conscious behaviors. It's about raising awareness about the importance of water conservation, explaining the consequences of water scarcity, and teaching practical ways to reduce water waste. Schools, community programs, and media campaigns can all play a role. It's not just about telling people what to do, it's about helping them understand why it's important. A shift in mindset driven by knowledge can make a huge difference.
Okay, good answer. My next question is, uh, uh how can no no sorry why is water security a global issue?
No worries at all. That happens sometimes. Okay, so why is water security a global issue? It's not just about some places having droughts and others having floods. It affects everyone because it's linked to so many other things like the food security. Most of our food production relies on water. Economic stability, water shortages can disrupt industries and hinder economic growth. Political stability, competition for waters can lead to conflict and human health. Uh, Lack of access to clean water causes disease and suffering because it's all interconnected. A water crisis in one part of the world can have ripple effects everywhere. It's not just a local problem; it's a global challenge.
Okay, good answer. My next question is, how can education change people attitude toward water usage?
We actually just talked about that one. You had a little pause there and asked it again. We covered how education can raise awareness about where water comes from, its importance, and how people can conserve it. It's about understanding the why behind water conservation, not just the what. Does that sound right? Are you wanting me to expand on something specific about that?
Okay, good answer. My next question is,
All right,
how
bring it on.
can urban planning improve water sustainability?
Okay, good question. Urban planning can make a huge difference. Things like designing cities to capture and reuse rainwater through things like green roofs and permeable pavements are really effective. Zoning regulations can encourage water efficient landscaping and discourage wasteful practices. Investing in efficient water infrastructure, repairing leaky pipes, and using smart water meters is crucial. Also, planning for green spaces and protecting natural watersheds within urban areas helps recharge groundwater supplies. It's about thinking about water as an integral part of city design, not an afterthought. It requires forward thinking and a holistic approach.
Okay, good answer. My next question is, what role does water play in agri production?
You mean agricultural production, right? Yeah, water is absolutely essential for agriculture. It's used for irrigating crops, raising livestock, and processing food. In fact, agriculture is the largest consumer of fresh water globally, accounting for around 70% of all water withdrawals. Without reliable access to water, we wouldn't be able to grow enough food to feed the world. Type of irrigation used also matters. Efficient methods like drip irrigation can significantly reduce water waste compared to traditional flood irrigation. It's a pretty direct link. No water, no food.
Okay, good answer. My next question is, how can desalination help solve water scarcities?
Okay, you're asking how desalination can help with water scarcity, right? Desalination is the process for removing salt and minerals from seawater or brackish water to make it drinkable. It can be a valuable source of fresh water in areas where water is scarce, especially coastal regions. It's not a perfect solution, though. It can be expensive, and the process requires a lot of energy. There are also environmental concerns, like the disposal of the salty brown byproduct. But as technology improves and costs come down, desalination is becoming a more viable option for addressing water shortages in some parts of the world.
Okay, good answer. My next question is um
Ready when you are.
how does water misuse impact future generation?
That's a really important question to ask. Honestly, if we don't address water issues now, future generations are going to face some serious challenges. Water scarcity could lead to food shortages, economic instability, and increased conflict. Degraded water quality will impact public health. Ecosystems will suffer, leading to loss of biodiversity. Climate change is only going to exacerbate these problems. It's our responsibility to ensure that future generations have access to clean, safe, and reliable water supplies. It's about sustainable management, responsible use, and investing in solutions now so they don't inherit a crisis. It's not just about us, it's about leaving a livable planet for those who come after us.
Okay, very good answer. Okay, my next question is how does water misuse impact future generation?
Kyle, we're kind of hitting on the same theme here, but it's good to keep reinforcing it. Water misuse, that's things like over extraction, pollution, and wasteful practices directly harms future generations. Depletes water resources, degrades water quality, and damages ecosystems. It leaves less water available for them and makes the water that is available more expensive and difficult to treat. It limits their options, compromises their health, and threatens their livelihoods. It's essentially stealing from their future to satisfy our present needs, and that's not okay. It's a matter of intergenerational equity. We have a responsibility to leave them a planet with at least the same resources we inherited.
Okay, my next question is how can communication work together to protect water resources?
That's a smart question. Collaboration is absolutely key. It needs to happen on a lot of levels. Communities need to work with local governments. Governments need to cooperate with each other across borders. Businesses need to partner with environmental organizations. And scientists need to share their research with policymakers and the public. Open communication, data sharing, and coordinated strategies are essential for effectively managing water resources. It's not something any one group can solve on their own. It requires everyone to be on the same page and working towards a common goal. It's about recognizing that water is a shared resource and we all have a stake in protecting it.
Okay, my next question is how can communication work together protect water resources?
Whoa, deja vu. We actually just covered that one a couple of questions ago. We talked about how collaboration between communities, governments, businesses, and scientists is essential for protecting water resources. You were asking how communication can help facilitate that collaboration. Is there a specific part of that answer you'd like me to expand on?
Okay, my next question is how can communication work together to protect water? What lesson can we learn from past water crises?
Okay, let's dig into that a bit more since you're really focusing on communication. Effective communication involves not just sharing information, but also building trust and fostering a sense of shared responsibility. Clear messaging can raise awareness about water challenges and inspire people to take action. Platforms for dialogue can bring together different stakeholders to identify solutions. And success stories showcasing what's worked in other places can demonstrate the potential for positive change. As for lessons from best practices, places that have successfully managed their water resources often prioritize integrated resource management. That means considering all aspects of the water cycle and all competing demands. They also emphasize stakeholder participation, transparency, and adaptive management, meaning they're willing to adjust their strategies as needed based on new information. Communication is vital for all of those things. It needs to be continuous, inclusive, and focused on building a shared understanding.
Okay, uh, thank you so much, Mail, for joining and Allah Hafiz.
You're very welcome. It was good talking with you, Hafiz. And Allah Hafiz to you too. Take care.